Regalion Part 11, The Clash of Titans. Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Cosy Reads. I hope you've all been keeping well. Thank you for joining me again for another story. In today's story, we will carry on with the tale of Regalion. As Jezebel and Scarlett search the facility for their prize, they wind up in conflict with Titans. How will the two survive, and what will be the outcome of this devastating battle? Stay tuned to find out. I was in the process of losing them before I heard from the Reapers about some battle that was happening further in the facility. I kinda guessed that you'd headed in that direction, and then I noticed the Reapers start to mobilize in the same direction, where the alleged battle was taking place. This was when the Daemon found my hiding spot, and I decided to put two and two together and get the Daemon to follow me all the way here, with the hope that the Daemon would turn on the Reapers, and the Reapers would turn on them. Luckily they did, or else I don't know what would have happened to me. Scarlett said with a look that gave Jezebel a chill down her spine, because she knew that Scarlett would have faced both the Daemon and the Reapers on her own if backed into a corner, and she would have enjoyed the fight. Well damn, you don't let up, do you? Any sane person would have been too afraid to even come up with a plan, yet you straight up caused two very dangerous worlds to collide, Jezebel said while watching the carnage unfold. Scarlett gave a smirk, and seemed mesmerised by the destruction unfolding. Jezebel looked over at Scarlett and thought she was always someone who would not hold back, going in guns blazing no matter the situation, and Jezebel admired that about her. This is truly intense. I haven't seen a battle this amazing in a long time. Do you think we should join in? Scarlett said while truly enthralled by the fight. Jezebel knew that she wasn't joking when she asked the question, but she also knew how much of a bad idea it would be to just jump into a fight they would most likely die from. And she also knew the reason why Scarlett was always so interested in battles. Scarlett was always assessing every situation, always thinking 10 steps ahead of everyone in the room. She would always have an idea of what to do, how to do it, and the outcome that would come about from being successful. Scarlett especially enjoyed watching bouts between seemingly powerful individuals, assessing their moves, their styles of combat, their tactics and strategies that they employ, and of course, the power level that they possess. In all seriousness, I know that you're thinking that there is no way that we can fight and come out of this situation alive. But when it comes down to it, I'm going to need you to trust me. We'll have to fight if we want to get out of here alive, with or without the staff. The conflict that is going on now is too big for us to avoid, even if the enemy does not know who we are. I started to formulate a plan for if things get bad, so trust the direction I give you in the coming fight. Scarlett looked far more serious now. The smirk had left her face, and she was now analysing the enemy. Her green eyes almost moving computer-like, darting from area to area, watching intensely the dance of death that was taking place between both parties. The Reapers were fending off the Daemon, trying their hardest to push them back. There'd already been many casualties, too many to count. Jezebel saw a Reaper slice through a Daemon, and then almost get killed by another, before a comrade came in with an axe and hit the Daemon with such force that it knocked it far back. The first Reaper then, using his sword, plunged it straight into the chest of the Daemon, only to then turn around and see his comrade getting buried by Daemon trying frantically to fend them off to no avail. The first Reaper with intense anger charged at the Daemon, who were now disgustingly feasting on the axe-wielding comrade. The sword-wielding Reaper charged the Daemon and managed to cut his way through two of them, before slicing them like butter. Under their helmet, Jezebel saw what looked like tears. Jezebel wanted to call out and tell them to watch out, but it was too late. A Daemon claw went straight through the Reaper's chest. The Reaper, still fueled with anger, swung back and sliced the Daemon's head off, only for two more Daemon to appear and cut off the Reaper's legs, before proceeding to violently rip him apart, organs and guts flying everywhere. Jezebel turned in disgust and tried not to throw up. She had seen tough times and disturbing things, but nothing could compare to seeing a person ripped apart before your eyes, like a piece of meat thrown out to the dogs. "We need to move," Scarlett said. She then got up and carried on further into the facility, avoiding the confrontation that was taking place. Jezebel was finally able to tear herself away from the bloody battle, and she followed Scarlett further in. After a while of wandering, they found a section of the facility that seemed like it would have been a place where staff of immense power would have been harboured. Jezebel noticed something as they wandered down the corridor to the chamber of the staff. The facility was barren of human life. Other than the Reapers, there were no humans in the facility, no scientists, no employees, no nothing. The facility looked like it had been in use before, as even this area seemed like it had people working there recently. However, for whatever reason, it seemed like they had to drop everything and try to escape. Scarlett glanced over at Jezebel and realised what she was thinking. They are all Daemon now, Scarlett said while looking over at the mess that had taken place after everyone disappeared. Jezebel nodded. She did not have anything to say. The situation spoke for itself. They came to the end of the corridor and found a room. Scarlett was on alert the whole time while Jezebel surveyed the area. That's when they saw it. Hanging from the roof, the staff seemed completely out of place, but they did not have time to ponder on why the staff was where it was. Scarlett threw out a dagger, which cut through the arm of the machine that was holding the staff. She then jumped up and caught the staff before heading back to Jezebel. Here, I need to scan the staff to make sure it's the right one. Jezebel took the staff and Scarlett pulled out a device that then proceeded to light up and emit a faint green glow while she moved it along the staff, making sure to cover each area with the weird glow. Check. It seems we found the staff. I guess the easy part is done, and now it comes the hard part, Scarlett said while putting the device away. And by the hard part you mean we now need to fight our way through the chaotic battle that's taking place? Jezebel said with a look on her face that summed up the whole situation. Yep, Scarlett replied while attaching the staff to a harness on her back and then heading for the corridor from which they came through. We're going to have to be on high alert now, more so than ever before. We don't know how the battle has proceeded, and whether any one side was able to slip through to find the staff. We do not want to alert either party to our continued presence, so we need to be extra careful. Scarlett crouched down and started to slowly creep forward, keeping her presence as silent as a shadow. Jezebel kept low, keeping to her training. She focused her mind and her senses, watching for even the slightest movement, while keeping her movements as subtle and quiet as possible. After a little while of walking, Scarlett stopped abruptly, and Jezebel noticed something that sent a chill down her spine. The sound of the battle had grown, but not just from more fighting. No, there was something else. Scarlett had already pinpointed what it was, but to ensure Jezebel knew the severity of the situation, she let her realize it herself. Scarlett, that Daemon, it's gone into some kind of hyperdrive mode, hasn't it? Jezebel whispered, her body shivering from the fear of that realization. Jez, like I said, follow my lead. This doesn't change anything. That creature has just shown its true colors, which means we are going to have a much harder fight on our hands. But the plan remains the same, Scarlett said while starting to move slowly towards the battlefield. Jezebel had to steel her fear and force herself to be courageous, to give herself a chance at surviving. As they approached the battlefield, Jezebel could see it. Nearly both sides had been wiped out. From what seemed like a war between two armies had now trickled down to nothing more than a handful of people. However, that was only the beginning of their nightmare. Jezebel looked up at the Daemon and saw how the creature changed. What was once a shadowy beast of a creature seemingly ripped out of the bowels of hell was now a creature that exuberated complete and utter fear just by its presence. Jezebel could not make out what she was seeing anymore. Every time she looked at the creature, she felt a wash of nightmare fuel seep into her pores. Here. Scarlett held out a pair of goggles. Jezebel looked at them and then looked at Scarlett, a little confused. I surmised that this place would attract the attention of a supreme alpha Daemon, so I decided to bring my old Reaper gear. Luckily, I had a spare. Jezebel wanted to ask why she had a spare, but she could tell that this was not the time to be asking such questions. Scarlett put on the goggles and Jezebel followed suit. With the goggles on, Jezebel's mind seemed to clear up. She remembered seeing Max's old Reaper gear and trying out a few of them. Most of them centered around counteractive measures on demonic power, such as these goggles, which ran powerful jamming signals to the brain that blocked out the effects of demonic power. As the two girls got ready to make their timely exit, an alarm went off, triggered by the taking of the staff. This alerted the Alpha as well as the two Reaper girls, as the blaring of the alarm vibrated throughout the facility. The two warring parties carried out their assault on each other, but Scarlett knew that their only way out was to fight. Jezebel, we have no other option. If we want to escape alive, then we will have to fight our way through. I know that it will be impossible for us to fully take on both an Alpha and two high-ranking Reapers, so we need to use the commotion as cover. Scarlett started to then head into the fray, and Jezebel followed behind, knowing that any slip-up would mean certain death. Scarlett made a beeline for the Alpha, jumping on its back, slicing deep into it and causing it to start flailing in anger. Jezebel used this to head in and dispatch a few Daemon on the ground, now drawing attention from the two Reapers. A shot whizzed past her, but Jezebel was able to dodge the brunt of the shot, with it only scraping past her arm. She didn't have time to wince or allow herself to react to the pain. She looked up at the gun-toting Reaper, who was aligning the next shot, but who also seemed distracted, signaling to the other Reaper that a retreat would be in order. Jezebel used this slight distraction to head straight to Scarlett and the Alpha. Scarlett noticed Jezebel, and almost like clockwork, she sliced down the Alpha's back, weaving herself towards its arm. The Alpha, now enraged, let out an ear-splitting roar that caused the walls to shake and a pillar to crumble. As if awakened, spikes then started to protrude from the Alpha's body. Scarlett anticipated this, but not at the speed at which the spikes came out. She was able to dodge one of the spikes, but not before it scratched her leg, almost lodging itself into her. Scarlett winced but brushed off the pain, not allowing herself to lose momentum. Boom! Another shot came whizzing towards Jezebel, but she was able to use the Daemon's arm as cover. The other Reaper became enraged and charged at Jezebel with blinding speed, annoying the gun-toting Reaper as she was now blocking her shot. Scarlett then used this opportunity to save Jezebel. The Alpha swung at Scarlett with a giant arm, but Scarlett was able to dodge its attack, after just barely landing on its arm and having to jump again. However, Scarlett used momentum from the Daemon's attack to shoot herself straight at Jezebel and the Reaper. The gun-toting Reaper noticed this and made another shot, this time aimed at Scarlett. Jezebel quickly grabbed her goggles and without hesitation, threw them straight at the spot in between Scarlett and the bullet. The bullet shattered the goggles, but this was only able to slow down its speed, if only by a split second, just missing Scarlett's chest and instead smashing straight into her arm, piercing through and coming out the other end. Through adrenaline and determination, Scarlett grabbed the dagger and threw it straight at the melee Reaper's new location. This threw the melee Reaper off for a second, had to divert her attention for a moment and block the attack. The gun-toting Reaper started to prepare another attack, shouting at the other Reaper to fall back. This is a fight they can't win. Jezebel was able to use this moment of slight confusion to jump at Scarlett, grabbing her in the air and blocking the melee Reaper's attack. Before the gun-toting Reaper could let off another bullet, the now enraged Alpha started firing off consecutive punches at her location, causing her to start moving wildly to dodge each attack. The melee Reaper then turned her attention towards the gun-toting Reaper and the Alpha, exclaiming, "Reapers never surrender, nor do we leave a comrade behind," while rushing in to aid the gun-toting Reaper. Jezebel and Scarlett used this opportunity to escape, and Jezebel was able to carry Scarlett out of the facility, dispatching more Daemon along the way. "How am I not corrupted by the Alpha?" Jezebel exclaimed. Through panting breath and wheezing, Scarlett replied, "Because the Alpha was distracted, so it couldn't completely target you. Also, you've learnt a few protection techniques. From me and Max. It's not a lot, but it's enough to save you if used at the right time. And your mind was not clouded. You were focused. Focused on me and getting us out. Because of that, the Reaper had no leeway. No wriggle room to corrupt you." Scarlett then coughed a few times before whispering that she was passing out. Jezebel wasn't too worried, as she knew thanks to Scarlett's training as a Reaper, she had an enhanced healing factor. But even still, they'll both need medical attention soon. They were able to just barely make it out with the deafening roar of the enraged Daemon and the clash of a fierce battle breaking the silence of the night. And that brings chapter 11 of the story to an end. I hope you've all been enjoying the series. We've gone a decent way into the story now and got to see the fierce brutality of the Daemon and the deadliness of the Reapers. The battle between the two groups shows just how dangerous they can be, and while Jezebel and Scarlett can be content in the knowledge that they have the staff, this does not mark the end of the Reapers and the Daemon. We will see more of these factions and learn that not only are they deadly through their combat prowess, but also through their secrets. But until then, I hope you have all sufficiently warmed up and that this story has brought you some level of comfort. I wish you safe travels on the journey of life, and feel free to come back again whenever you need a new story to warm your day.